Hey Chapel Hill, it's Pastor Dave, and the weather's cooling off, and that means we've got to make some decisions. Now, we've been so fortunate this summer with a fantastic stage, brand new parking lot. Other than a few Sundays right after Easter, we've had weather that has cooperated with us. We've been able to be out here, enjoy each other's company in the parking lot. But the weather's getting colder, makes it a little more difficult to do so. So we're making the plan to move into the building. Now, what you need to know is that you're going to have three options for worship on Sunday. You can continue to come and drive your car and park in the parking lot and turn on the FM transmitter, and you'll hear the worship coming through the FM transmitter in the parking lot like you've been doing all summer. You just you won't have the visual, okay? Or you can come into the building and we will have worship in there. We're getting ready to walk in there and talk about what are the guidelines that we're going to follow to make sure that we are safe. Or you could stay at home and watch it on Facebook, as many of you have done. So all three of those options are viable. All three of those options are perfectly fitting. And it's entirely up to you as a person and as a family to decide how you want to do it. But those are the options that we're going to have starting on November 1st. So we're going to walk from here where we've been all summer. We're going to go on into the building, and we're going to talk about the precautions that are going to be taken as we make our way into the building. The first one, obviously, is this. Everybody who comes in the building will be required to wear a mask. Sunday morning, these doors will be propped open, so you don't have to touch anything, okay? So you just come on in. When you get to the first door here, there's going to be an usher with a mask and gloves. There's hand sanitizer. We're going to ask you to use hand sanitizer when you come in. That usher is going to ask you three questions. One of them is, have you had a fever in the last few days? And you say, well, no. So then the usher is going to say, okay, let me take your temperature. He's going to point it at your forehead, and he's going to read whatever temperature you have to make sure that you're good. He's going to ask you if you've had any lower respiratory situations, a cough or shortness of breath. And then he's going to ask, have you been in contact with anyone with COVID in the last 14 days? You answer those questions, you're cleared. Okay. He's also going to have a clipboard. He or she, that usher, is going to have a clipboard, and he's going to check your attendance. We want to do that so that in the case that someone comes down with the COVID virus, we can say, okay, they were here on this Sunday, so were all these other people. Do a little bit of contact tracing. So now you've been checked out by the ushers, you're here, we're going to head into worship. As you can see, we've got a rough red arrow here, there'll be more clearly marked. This is the entrance. The two side doors are the exit. So we don't have any kind of traffic crossover. So we're going to come on in here. You can see that we've cleared out all the pews. There's nothing there but a few teddy bears. There's no pews, there's no hymnals, there's no Bible, and there are no pencils or pamphlets. So you come up here to the front, and what we've decided is that every other pew is going to be roughly 6 feet. So if we're going to do mask and 6 feet, then every other pew should be good. Now, we ask you not to sit on the front row, but you can begin here. You can sit in this row. Obviously, this one's going to be corded off, same way on this side, and then you can sit in the next row. Now, if you happen to be a family, you've been together already, so you don't have to worry about the fact of being with each other. So if you're a family, you can all kind of come right into this row. Now, the ushers are going to be ushering you to your seating. So you come on in and have a seat as a family. But let's say you're not family. You're just a single person. You come in here, or you're a couple, and oh, well, hello there, Mr. Teddy Bear. You've never met Mr. Teddy Bear before. So since you don't know each other and you're not family, well, we're going to keep 6 feet between myself and this other person. That way we keep our masks and our 6 feet distance, because if we do both of those, we should be good. Now, the band's going to be up front, the people leading worship. We're going to do our mask wearing the best we can when we're not singing, and we're going to invite you to sing if you'd like, but I wouldn't sing boisterously. Just sing at a moderate pace, because, you know, that expulsion of those droplets, we want to try and avoid that as much as possible. And if you feel comfortable not singing, that's great too. Now, let's say you're Kevin here and you get into your pew, and all of a sudden you look back and you say, well, there's my good friend Jim Butts. Let's not do this. let's not reach over and handshake. Let's not have any physical contact. Let's do everything we can to be as safe as we possibly can. I know that's going to be hard because, man, when we come together, we like to hug on each other, shake each other's hand, talk to each other. But when you are screened, come into the place with the usher and have your seat. Then we will have worship together. We are going to, I know many of you have asked about communion. And so we are going to have a very special kind of communion. It's going to be our, I guess you would call it COVID communion. So I invite you to take watch of that. If you're in the parking lot, you're going to want to see it. So turn on the Facebook page. And we'll experience communion in a very different, but I believe powerful way on this first Sunday back, November 1st. So now the service is done, and it's time to go. We're not going to take an offering, not going to pass anything that lots of people have to touch. When we get ready to go, there'll be baskets in the back of the sanctuary or out in the lobby where you can put your offering, and we'll collect it that way. When we get ready to go, the ushers will begin at the back of the sanctuary, and we'll dismiss you by row, and you will go out the sides and out that way. And then you can depart from the building. But please, again, as much as I know we'll want to stand around and talk with each other and say, how you doing and how things been going, let's not do that. Let's just make sure we come in, enjoy the worship time together, and depart as soon as we go. Then when you get out to the cars and you're out in the parking lot and you want to stand apart from each other and talk, that's fine. But again, we would encourage no physical contact so that we can keep our population and our congregation as safe as we possibly can, and we can worship together. And I do want to reiterate one more time. There are 3 options. You can sit in the parking lot and listen to it in your car. You can come in here in the building, or you can watch it online. But if you come in here, please make sure and watch and take all of the precautions we've talked about. If you want to see these again, you can go to the website and you'll see the ways that we're going to live this thing out together. So thanks for taking a look at this video. I hope it's been helpful. If you have any more questions, give the church office, give myself a call.